Right, guys, listen, I don't usually do this, but I've got a big announcement for you. If you want to get F1 2020 or F1 2019, Dirt Rally, Grid, whatever it may be, but of course on this channel we do F1 games, then head over to the link down below, guys, to Green Man Gaming. You can currently get an absolute stonking 60 to 70% off and use my code TOM9710 for a further 10%. So go check it out. Trust me, it's worth it and it's bloody cheap. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video here today, and also welcome back to the glasses, because as you can tell by my left eye, I've had a pretty bad night's sleep and I've been having a bit of a rough time with the sleeping lately. So I'm bringing the glasses back, at least for today anyway, to try and help my eyes, because I'm getting enough sleep but for some reason I feel like crap. Anyway, ramble aside, today we are back for some more F1 Return to Glory, of course, with the Williams team. And we're going to jump into the Canadian Grand Prix. So I'm looking forward to it. Of course, Canada is one of those stronger tracks for me personally, because the AI are not that quick around there. So we've got a very good chance of having a good race here today. But before we jump into it, again, I'm going to do the same plug as always. If you missed the previous episode, guys, at Azerbaijan for the Baku race, then go check it out. I'll leave a link as always in the top right. And I do recommend you watch it, because there will be some spoilers coming up very shortly. And also, guys, one last thing, of course, if you're new to the channel, hit the like button if you enjoy the content you see on my channel. Subscribe for more. It really helps me out, guys. And as I'm trying to chase 60k subs, you know, it's kind of, I can see it in the distance there. It's kind of like, it's teasing me. So hopefully we'll get there maybe in a month or so, maybe a month and a half, who knows. Either way, the support has been unreal, guys, and thank you so much for that. And anyway, ramble aside, let's jump into it. Now we jump into the main menu, and straight away I was not given a weather forecast for this weekend's race, so I kind of had to base myself off this screen right here, and there's not a lot of information, but it says sunny for qualifying and then sunny and cloudy for the race. We then look at the performance chart, and we are the only team to bring an upgrade this weekend, I believe, which is great. It's only a minor one, but still we slightly close the gap to the teams ahead of us. We do have two major upgrades on the way, one for the aero, one for the engine coming soon, so hopefully those will arrive, because we need some upgrades. You know, the team is not working on the facilities, and that is becoming a bit of a problem. But nonetheless, we move into Friday practice here at Canada, and I love this track. You know, Canada's a really great fun circuit, and the car felt pretty decent. Again, I mentioned it in the previous episode, even though we're at the bottom of the performance chart, we've done enough upgrades now that we've kind of got through the worst phase of the car, so the car doesn't actually feel absolutely cataclysmic anymore. You know, it's bearable, let's say. And after practice we scored a few R&D points. That takes us pretty much to 1,000, and we now move into qualifying. And as you guys saw at the start, we are having, in theory, a sunny qualifying, or at least so I thought, because, you know, based off of that screen, that's what I assumed would happen. And of course, once we load into the session, I realized things weren't as straightforward as the first picture at the start of the video said. So we jump into Q1. As you can see, we're currently on a lap here, and we're stuck behind Mr. Pierre Gasly, who is, I believe, about to start a lap, and he moves out of the way but then changes his mind. You can see the ERS light actually turns off, which is when the AI switched from at lap mode to, I'm guessing, full lap mode. And you can see we're actually getting a nice little toe, a bit of dirty air, so a bit of a mix. I didn't really gain anything from that, because while I made up a big benefit on the straight, I did get a lot of dirty air and understeer through the chicane, so not ideal. And I definitely think I want to try that again. So this was my best lap in qualifying. Let's enjoy it. And there it is, across the line for P10. To be fair, an absolute belter, 1 minute 8.5, really happy with that one. That was a really good lap, an absolute stonker. With that, we actually got into Q2 quite comfortably, whereas George Russell got P16, just got knocked out, which is still an impressive achievement for George, you know, considering it is the worst car on the grid. He actually outqualified the Renault, both Alphas and Magnussen, which is pretty decent, and only Albon knocked him out. So fair play. We go through the Q2, and in Q2, straight away, I loaded up the weather forecast, and you can see on screen, it says dry for the next 10 minutes. But then I hit the track 10 seconds later, and it looks a bit dark and overcast. So I'm like, something's not right. And then suddenly you can see the car, it's raining. And obviously, Q2, you have 16 minutes, and I've gone out 3 minutes after. So essentially, because I thought it was going to be dry, I've skipped ahead a little bit in terms of, you know, session time. So this lap is not going to be optimal because of the conditions. You can see here, I'm making my way through the final chicane. The lap hasn't been perfect. I've been a little bit cautious. The grip hasn't been ideal. And because we are in the worst car, when these conditions happen, we are in a bit of trouble, you know, in terms of like the car feels a bit floaty, a bit understeery, a bit oversteery. But we do set a lap. We go last P10 at the time. And after that, pretty much the rain got worse, and it was going to be the end of our qualifying. And as you can see, we have a new rivalry with Sebastian Vettel, which could be pretty spicy. But the key thing here is that we did get knocked out of Q2, as there was one person who did manage to improve behind us shortly after my lap. But after that, pretty much nobody else was able to go faster. And to be fair, we do qualify in the pretty decent P11 position, which is, you know, a pretty good spot to be in because, of course, you get that free tyre choice just outside the top 10. So that could actually be a bit of a blessing in disguise for us in the race, I feel like, and I'm very much keen on that. Worth noting, Sebastian Vettel qualified on mediums in the Ferrari, so great qualifying from him. So he'll start the race on a similar strategy to us. And then before we jump into the race, one last thing to mention is the updated weather forecast that I got after qualifying, which says we have rain in the race.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. Anthony Davidson, thanks for joining me once again for the Grand Prix. Let's talk about Martinez. That was a great podium in the last race, so can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Perez, Sainz, Norris, Gasly, and Daniel Kvyat, Martinez, Stroll, Charles Leclerc, and Albon, Grosjean, Russell, Esteban Ocon, and Kevin Magnussen. Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
It's time for the Canadian Grand Prix. We start from P11, which is fantastic for us, a really good position to start from, and we get the benefit of the free tyre choice, which is going to really help us out. Now, in terms of the race strategy, we have some rain on the way in this race. It looks like about halfway through it's going to kind of hit, so in principle we're going to start on the mediums and then hopefully go into the soft tyres. I'm debating in my head if I want to start on the softs and go for another stint on the softs afterwards, but if the rain doesn't arrive in time, we could be in trouble. So I am going to go for a medium to start with and play it safe. I could start on soft, then go medium after, but I'm just going to go with what I know best, you know, trust my gut instinct, and I feel like this is the best way to do it, because if the rain does arrive around the halfway point, I could potentially stretch the mediums a bit longer if necessary. So yeah, fuel-wise, we're looking pretty decent, 1.5 laps extra. There's going to be a lot of dry running, so we can use quite a bit. And then we'll try and run it into the negative a little bit, and then hopefully we'll save the remainder in the wet conditions. But anyway, enough waffle, let's jump into it. Okay, here we go. First get selected. The lights make their way on. And away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix. It is a long 5 lights. Kvyat getting a great launch, but he gets blocked off, and we're going to use that to actually make a move down the inside into turn 1. Now into turn 2, we're going to absolutely send it around the outside here. Can we make it stick? I think we can, you know. We've done it on Gasly. We've got the McLaren of Norris here. Gasly's still trying to go down the inside here, but we squeeze through and force the issue. And we've done it. We've got ourselves up into P8 on the mediums. Looks like I'm the only car using this tyre based off of the cars around us. So we could be on a strategy offset as we have a big moment. That's going to give Norris a big run here down towards the next corner. He's actually going to try it to the outside, surprisingly. We're going to just defend the inside line. We could be in trouble here. The AI are very aggressive in the opening phase. They use all of their energy, as always, in the first 2 laps of the race. So we need to bear that in mind. So they're going to become a lot more raceable from lap 3 onwards, or end of lap 2 onwards. So for now, it's all about just hanging in there for this first 1.5 laps. Seems like we've had a bloody good exit though at the hairpin, and we're actually closer to signs, which is surprising. Anyway, let's focus up, try and have some good pace, and try and make these mediums work. If we can switch these on, we're going to be in such a great position this race. Ooh, that was scary. To my surprise though, we've got a good pace. We're pulling away from Norris, and we're keeping up with signs. DRS gets enabled next lap. This is very, very important for us. I'm actually going to double check the difficulty, even though I've not touched anything. I need to make sure, because I feel like this is a bit too easy, or easier than I expected. Where's the gameplay settings? Okay, we're on 110, so maybe the AI just not that quick around here. So, wow, what a start. I'll tell you what, we could actually make a move here. I am so quick through the hairpin. I can get the car, you know, on the brakes really late, get the rotation sorted, and I can get on the traction really early. At the minute though, I'm not going to try and make any moves. I want to focus on pulling away from Norris and Gasly. You know, they're out of DRS range right now. Let's try and keep it that way. So let's try and stick with these guys if we can. Pace so far is blinding.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes until the rain. Meanwhile, I'm putting some big pressure on signs here. I've kind of let Norris back into it a little bit, but we're going to have a look. But look at this, the McLaren's actually pretty speedy on the straight. Don't really have the straight line speed to make the pass. So we're going to have to just sit behind for now. Engine is overheating slightly as well, which doesn't help, so a bit of a shame. But I do feel like I can actually overtake these guys now. So a couple more laps, tyres will start to really go off, and that'll be our opportunity. I feel like I'm very quick in the corners compared to the AI. They're pretty speedy on the straights, which again is not what you'd expect. You know, we've got the Mercedes power plant, we're the second strongest engine in the field, but seems like we don't actually have straight line speed at the minute. We have managed to keep Lando out of the DRS range, just about, but I want this overtaken out. I feel a lot quicker. I think we're going to try something here. Yes, lovely. Lovely move. Slight tap on the rear of Ricciardo, but job done. Overtake dusted. Now can we stay ahead of Carlos? I think we can. Luckily no wing damage, so that has worked out to perfection. Absolute peach of an overtake. Feeling very confident on the braking with this car. We're now P7. Same move. 2 laps in a row. Do I dare? Not as close to Ricciardo, to be fair, as I was to Sainz, but we might try something different. Try and get the cutback of dreams if we can. Or I can just get the traction out of here, which we do. Oh, second phase isn't great though. Bit too much overtake. Want to just sit back. How's the engine looking? Okay, we're not overheating, so we can commit to this. Ricciardo's getting a big run on Perez at the same time. These guys on the soft tyres are struggling now. It's so hard to see the curbs when you're following a car so closely. We're gaining on Ricciardo though. Oh, I really thought about that. We hit the back of him again. I could have probably gone for that in fairness. I was a bit too safe. I'm losing a lot of time now. I'm a lot quicker on these tyres. Might try something different. Depends if I can nail this or not. Here we go. We're going to try this move. Down the inside. Nice. Perfect. Haven't really got any ERS left, but that was a really nice move. And Ricciardo's not going to re-challenge, so we take that. Let's see if we can get Perez as well here. We know he hasn't got DRS, any cars ahead of him, so we can go P5 here. Going to close the gap a little bit. Try and push the brakes into the hairpin. Perfect, perfect. Just nail the traction now. Better than last lap. We are out of VRS though, we don't really have anything to fight with. Bit frustrating. Let's try and see if we can get into turn 1 maybe. That'd be nice. And actually no, Perez pits along with what seemingly looks like the leaders as well. So clean air for us. Great timing by the way. Right then, P4. Let's push a little bit. Hamilton in the pit lane. Bottas stays out for one more lap. So we've got a bit of a strategy offset here. So both Mercs still on the soft tyres. But I believe Sebastian Vettel could be on mediums. Yes, he is. Interesting. So Vettel's on the same strategy as us, so he could be in the driving seat here.
We don't think it's going to stay dry for much longer. The rain could come at any moment. Watch out. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Okay, fair enough. So the rain is actually arriving a lot earlier than expected. Bottas pits. We've now got Hamilton right behind us. He's on fresh soft tyres, of course. So Vettel leads by 10 seconds. He is looking very good here. We're going to have to try and deal with Hamilton now. Tyres are starting to go now. Oh, I'm not even going to fight it, but tyre wear is so quick around here. It's so difficult to deal with. Here goes Lewis. We're going to just let him go by. We'll just stick behind him. That means we'll get DRS on the back straight. There is a detection point. I'm going to select the inters for the stop because I feel like we're going to go straight into the inters in this race. So the strategy in that sense is working out perfectly for us. And there we go. P3.
No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Oh wow. Vettel pits. So he couldn't make the mediums last.
You'll be on inters for the next stint.
So that's a bit disappointing, you know, for Vettel, but I'm happy with that. That means we're P2 now. This is perfect. We're currently on course for a podium again, if we can nail this strategy. Let's just keep it going. Let's see when the rain arrives. And speaking of devil, there it is. First droplets of rain. Fry with an absolute classic master plan. They've absolutely messed it up. Right, let's see how long this rain takes until we switch to inters. I'm going to try and burn the rest of the fuel off. Rain's coming down very slowly here. Track is still quite dry. We're not really there yet. Bottas and Vettel are absolutely flying behind me, and they're catching me up quite quickly. Oh my goodness me, that was close. Whoa. Mamma mia. Oh.
Virtual safety car, virtual
oh,
safety
mate.
car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
I'm convinced the safety car in VSC in my save is bugged. We get one every single race. Anyway, that's going to help us in terms of just getting the stint to prolong a little bit and get to those inters. There is literally no grip. We're going to pit this lap for the inters. And that way we get to keep track position over Bottas and Vettel, hopefully. As long as they don't somehow pull off a miraculous undercut. There we go. Right into the pits we go then. Going very cautious with the pit entry. Don't want to take any risks. Vettel stays out for one more though. That's very interesting. Again, the Ferrari master plan in full effect. I wonder if Bottas might jump us here. This won't be good. We need this stop to be perfect. Hamilton's staying out for one more lap.
Exit now.
Crucial. Look at that. Hamilton and Vettel in trouble. DRS disabled. This is great timing for us. Here we go.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Russell in as well. Uh-oh. That's a bit wide. There we go. Right, let's push this lap. We can maybe get closer to Hamilton here. Hamilton in the pits. And obviously Sebastian Vettel will also follow. I don't think we've done enough to get Lewis, but we'll definitely get back ahead of Seb.
The stewards have now disabled DRS. DRS is now disabled.
Timing on that pit stop was perfect for us. There we go. We're going to retake P2. Hamilton has already rejoined the track. It looks like there is. Oh, we're now P2. Can we hold on to this? That's the target. We've got to try and hold off mainly Valtteri Bottas. Maybe if Seb, if he comes back towards us, but we've got to try and hold off Valtteri in these conditions. We are dropping Bottas.
Fuel is at target -1. Let's turn the engine down, please.
No, don't worry, Jeff, I'm on it. But we are dropping Valtteri here. I'm not saving fuel like I hoped for, so I'm going to have to work on that. But we are pulling away. This pace is brilliant. This is even better than China, and China was an incredible wet race performance. Car feels great. We're now in heavy rain conditions. There was a heavy rain icon on the main menu, I remember before the race. The question is, will the rain, force us onto the full wets, or will it be like an intermediate and you kind of got to see it out vibe? Hopefully it's that one, because I'm pretty good in the kind of extreme wet intermediate phase. We're still keeping the gap. Hamilton's racing away. He's rapid, but we're controlling Bottas. We're keeping him there between 2.5 to 3 seconds, which is unbelievable.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Got that confirmed?
There we go. Full wets. I just said it. The grip has got quite poor. Let me ask what the weather forecast is.
The rain is getting lighter now, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry out. Inters and wets will probably have similar pace at the moment.
I'm not sure what to do then. That doesn't give me a lot of clarity. Let's see what Hamilton does. If Hamilton pits, then we'll pit.
Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Let's see. Okay, Hamilton pits, so we're going to play it safe. We're going to go for the full wet. Let's do this. Into the pit lane we go. Very, very safe. No need to speed. There we go. That's perfect. And we won't get held. Mercedes stacking. Interesting. Bottas might lose a bit of time here, actually, because of that. And Vettel may have a chance to jump the Mercedes, but we're going to pit for the full wets.
Release, release.
Nice, good stop there. 2.5. Bottas still ahead of Vettel, but he's definitely lost a bit of time to us. Right, let's crack on with it. Full wet tyres this time. Hopefully we can just see these out to the end, although I do believe we might go back on the Inter before the end of the race. That could well be a possibility. I've just clocked. Everyone's gone for Inters again. I've gone for the full wets. Interesting. This is going to be really interesting. They pit really early for another set of Inters. That makes no sense while they go for another set of Inters. The rain is really pouring here. It's definitely full wets. I'm not sure what's happened, but I'm not complaining.
But the track is still going to be wet for a while.
Okay, so it's now going to go back to the light rain. Had I known this, I probably would have just stayed out. I did have that thought, why should I pit? Okay, Hamilton's in again. Okay, does this mean the AI now going to go full wet? Because these tyres are a lot quicker. Yes, so the AI have absolutely messed it up. So we are now in the lead, and we are in the net race lead, so we can actually win this race now. Oh my god. Oh my goodness me. 10 laps to go. This is massive. I don't know what they have just done, but they've completely thrown away their race. So if Hamilton's not that far behind. It's just 7 seconds, so it's going to be hard to keep him at bay, but we'll try and do our best. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we are walking on water. That's the best way to explain it. We're flying. We're the fastest car on track by a mile. This is unbelievable. I do think we might have to go back onto the Inters though. So it might not be fully over yet, but in these conditions, we are flying. The heavy rain has now stopped. So it could be only a matter of time before the Inters. I'm also a bit nervous that there hasn't been a safety car yet. We get one in every single race. So I'm on standby and waiting in case anything happens. Can't believe we're going to lap a car. That's not what I had in mind at the start of Season 1, but it's about to happen. If Giovinazzi actually wants to move out of the way. Let's see if he moves here once we get through this chicane. Come on, Gio. And there it is. He moves out of the way. Well, kind of. He's not really doing it too well. But now we're through. 5 laps to go. We're controlling the gap to Lewis. It's over 7 seconds still. But the rain is drying. The track is 100% intermediates now. For sure. The question is, do I pit and give away track position? If I pit, I'll rejoin in a comfortable P2. But I feel like it'd be a lot quicker. Let me double check what the weather forecast is.
You're doing well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain.
I'm going to pit.
It's hard to say if Inters or wets are better right now.
I'm going to pit for the Inters. They're going to be much quicker. And they're certainly going to get drier, so...
Understood. Stopping this lap.
This is a bit of a gamble, but I feel like if Hamilton doesn't stop, we're going to catch him. I'm relying on that track drying out, and I'm also, by doing this, I'm avoiding getting undercut by Hamilton, so this is a risky play, but I feel like we're going to benefit.
Complete. Go now.
This is to solidify the race win. 4 laps to go, we've got fresh Inters. Let's just crack on with it. Hamilton's at turn 1.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
So we're only 10 seconds behind. What we need now is a track to absolutely just dry up. It's light rain conditions, so we should gain time pretty much everywhere. Gap now 7.5, of course, due to the pit exit, so we're really not that far behind. And the track is definitely inters. Look at the delta. It's going to just start flying down. I can keep it flat through here. So yeah, it's definitely intermediate tyres. Let's try and use them and close up to Lewis here. Let's see if Hamilton pits. No, he's staying out, but the gap is 5.7. We've already gained so much on this one lap. These tyres are so much faster. We will catch Hamilton. It's only a matter of time. There you go. It's just going to keep getting drier and drier. This is the right call. This is the one. 1.5 laps to go. This is going to go down to the wire, this is. We need to get past Giovinazzi first. Hamilton's holding on. I'm guessing he's running at full power. Gap is down to 2.7. This is actually going to be closer than I thought. We need to optimize every single corner. Giovinazzi gets out of the way. There we go. Alright, this is going to be close. This is it. On to the last lap of the race. 1.6 is the gap. Let's stay on board here for a full lap of Canada. Let's see if we can pick up the win. That'll be our second win of the season. Lewis is doing a great job hanging in there, but I'm going to try and keep the pressure on as best as I possibly can. Almost flat through there. Oh, this is good, this is good. Come on. We're nearly there. Got plenty of fuel. I've got enough ERS as well. The hairpin is going to be the one. That's the place. Through the chicane. Bit of a cut there, but that's okay. Come on, full power. Open up the line. Cut back underneath. Look at the traction we've got. There it is. Come on. Yes. Let's just hold on now and not make a mess of the final chicane. Hamilton in the slipstream, but he's not going to get much out of that. Final chicane. Easy does it. Avoid the wall of champions. And there we go. It's going to be our second win of the season. But this one is much sweeter than Monaco. Yes.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing. Well done.
A truly magnificent drive then, and a great performance from the entire team to secure victory here in Canada. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack. And having that confidence gets you on the power earlier, it lets you brake later, and can put you a long way up the road.
It looks like it's time once again to hand out the silverware as these successful drivers make their way to the podium. It was a gritty performance today by Williams, and they've got the race win to prove it.
Oh yes, baby, it's a W, another win, absolutely massive. We beat Hamilton to the flag, and Bottas wraps up the podium. Sebastian Vettel in an impressive P4 for Ferrari, ahead of Perez, Sainz, Ricciardo, Fiat, Verstappen P9, and Grosjean scoring the final point here today. Missing out, we have Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, Ocon, Gasly, Russell P15, Raikkonen, Albon, Magnussen, Giovinazzi a lap down, and Stroll out of his home Grand Prix. We then look at the driver standings and we move up to third place, overtaking Max Verstappen in still the worst car of the grid. We've not been off the bottom of the table the entire season, but we're outperforming, we're delivering, and we are smashing out of the park. We look at the constructor standings and we also move up to third, overtaking Ferrari. Wow, what an incredible occasion. I just can't believe we're this high up. And the car will hopefully just keep getting better. We've got two major upgrades that will hopefully arrive over the next two races. And we're going to add some more right now. So let's jump back into the menu and let's try and improve this Williams car a bit more. Okay, here we are then, back on the main menu. And as you can see, the next race is in 10 days' time. So we've got a bit of time to try and do a few more upgrades. Now currently you can see we have 1,238 points, and we're going to go ahead and spend a few more of those, and we're going to go for a chassis upgrade because that's probably the most weakest point of the car. Although to be fair, looking at this, it looks like we don't actually have enough points. We're 12 points short of buying an upgrade, so it looks like I might not actually be able to buy one. Yeah, I can't actually afford one. Well, that's a bit disappointing. So we're going to have to just move ahead, and we'll skip on to the 22nd, unless the upgrade for the 16th fails first. But if it doesn't fail, then we'll skip to this 22nd, and once we get those extra points, we'll buy the upgrades then. So let's skip ahead. This is frustrating already because, again, the first major upgrade and it has already failed. So forget buying more upgrades. We need to protect this one first, so we're going to go ahead and buy that. That will now arrive after the French Grand Prix, so for the next race we won't have any upgrades on the car. So fantastic. That's just not ideal whatsoever. Anyway, let's skip on to the next race. Well, there we go then, guys. That is it for today's episode of the Williams Return to Glory. The next race will be at France, and another opportunity to try and score more points in this championship, which, to be fair, we should be expecting to score every race now, considering how well the first half of the season has gone so far. But guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, leave a like, and thank you to the members of the channel, of course, for always supporting. I really appreciate it. And also, guys, if you're new to the channel, hit the red subscribe button, and finally check out the 2 videos on screen right now, and hopefully you enjoy them. But guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.